Hello, and welcome to my Pluralsight Audition. My name is James D. Murray of TechExams.net, and I am auditioning for acceptance as a Pluralsight course author. The topic of my audition is using anonymizing VPN services, which is something that is important for the privacy and security of everyone using the internet. Does that sound interesting? Well, let's get started. To start off, we need to understand just what a VPN is. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. You can think of a VPN as a smaller network inside of a larger network. A VPN is created by two computers on either end of the VPN. These computers will use the VPN connection to communicate privately with each other and independently from the larger network. A VPN is private because it is used only by the computers that create the VPN, and no one outside of the VPN can see the information being passed back and forth inside. VPNs are virtual because they are not really part of the larger network and only exist when needed. As an example of a virtual private network in the real world, imagine that you are in a large crowd of people and using your cell phone to text message with a friend who is not there with you. Your cell phones create kind of a virtual private network, allowing you and your remote friend to communicate without the people all around you knowing what or with whom you're communicating. If you look around in the crowd at the people standing near you, you might be surprised how many of them are on their own cell phone carrying on virtual private conversations too. The same thing is happening all over the internet using VPNs. Right now, you might be asking yourself, why do we need privacy on the internet? When we communicate across the internet, either by transferring files, sending emails and instant messages, or by visiting websites, the information we send must pass through many computers and networks to move across the internet and reach its destination. Information sent back to us must also pass through a maze of internet-connected devices, but not necessarily using the same path. At any point, the information we are sending can be read and copied by any device our information passes through. This process is called store and forward, and this is how the internet is designed to move information. If only there was some way to hide our information from the internet, yet still allow our information to be delivered to its correct destination. Yes, you guessed it. Virtual private networks to the rescue. So how do VPNs protect the confidentiality of the information that is being transported across the network? You will frequently see VPNs represented by keys, padlocks, and other types of symbols of security indicating strength and protection. Locks only open to people that have the proper keys. In the digital world, keys are used by encryption, and it is the use of encryption, or more precisely, cryptography, that gives VPNs the ability to provide the confidentiality to information. Because your information, while inside of a VPN, is encrypted, the network devices transporting VPN traffic cannot read what the information contains. Only just enough details are seen by the network devices, allowing them to store and forward the information. When your information reaches the other end of the VPN, the encryption is removed and your information is revealed to the computer and people at the far end. Encrypting information before you send it across a network is like mailing a letter to a friend. You write the letter, write your address and your friend's address on the outside of the envelope, put the letter inside, seal the envelope, and use the postal system to deliver it. While your letter is in transit, the postal system can only see enough information to transport and deliver your letter, but anyone handling the letter cannot read its contents because it is sealed inside of the envelope. Only when your friend receives and opens the envelope can the letter be read. Just as the envelope protects the confidentiality of your postal letter, encryption protects the confidentiality of your digital information. However, if you were to send a letter to your friend, but instead write it on a postcard, you would enable everyone who handles the postcard while it is in transit to read what you have written. Sending digital information across a communications network without using encryption is no better than writing it on a postcard, mailing it off, and taking the chance that no one will notice your postcard and read it. Without using encryption, there is nothing to guarantee that no one else will see your information before it is delivered to the intended recipient. It is important to realize that the confidentiality of your information is only one component of privacy. Anonymity, or keeping your identity a secret, is another. VPNs by themselves only protect the confidentiality of the information that they transport. VPNs are not designed to hide the identity of the computers of people using the VPN. If you don't want your identity known to places you are visiting on the internet, you will need to use a special type of VPN service known as an anonymizing VPN. When two computers create a VPN to exchange information, each computer learns the other's IP address. Knowing a computer's IP address can give clues to the computer's domain and geographical location, the internet service provider used by the computer, and possibly the type of operating system and software the computer is running. All of this information can be used to discover the identity of the person using the computer. Your computer's IP address is the virtual equivalent of your personal telephone number and your home address. Therefore, to hide your identity from other computers on the internet, you must hide your IP address. This is the first step to anonymity while using the internet. To do this, we use something called an anonymous proxy server. A proxy server, or just proxy, is a computer that performs some useful task on your behalf, such as allowing you to access the internet. An anonymous proxy hides your IP address from other computers on the internet by using its own IP address instead of your IP address when communicating with other computers. If you have ever used an anonymous search service, then you have used an anonymous proxy without even realizing it. An anonymous search engine will not log your IP address or pass it on to other search engines that it uses. Instead, an anonymous search service will use its own IP address to perform searches on your behalf. To use an anonymous proxy service that will allow you to visit any site on the internet, you will first create a VPN connection to an anonymous proxy server using your own IP address. The anonymous proxy will then assign you one of its own IP addresses to use for all of your internet access. All of your internet communications will go through the anonymous proxy, and all sites that you use on the internet will only see the IP address of the anonymous proxy server and not the actual IP address of your own computer. This effectively hides your identity from the internet at the IP network layer. Well, we've come a long way in learning the basics of anonymizing VPN services and why you would want to use one. Now, let's take a look at how you would actually use an anonymous VPN service on your own computer. This is the Freedom Anonymous VPN solution from F-Secure. This is a VPN client that is available for Microsoft Windows. I like this VPN software because it has very few configuration choices and the interface is so simple and easy to use. Turning Freedom on and off is easy as clicking a giant button. You can also start Freedom from its task tray icon or choose to have Freedom start with Windows for always-on protection. Freedom has an impressive selection of proxy servers available worldwide, allowing you to select where in the world you would like your computer's traffic to appear to originate from on the internet. If one proxy is too slow or not getting you to where you need, then try another one without dropping your VPN connection. Each time you select a different proxy, you get a different IP address. Freedom offers additional protections over conventional VPN clients by intelligently blocking tracking cookies and preventing you from visiting known, malicious, and blacklisted internet sites. Some VPN clients also work with antivirus products to filter and remove known attacks and malware directly from your network traffic. If you don't want any of these features, they can be turned off as you need. F-Secure recommends when you use Freedom that your web browser should be in private mode for Firefox and in incognito mode for Chrome. This prevents your browser from saving your browsing history and web cookies to your local computer. Also recommended is F-Secure's anonymizing search engine, so your internet searches are anonymized and not logged. Yes, with an anonymous VPN solution, it is really that simple to take a giant first step to maintaining your privacy on the internet.